Lawsuits, a commissioner on the run. It has been a very eventful week in the world of minor league indoor football.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
So it is a definite understatement to say that the Arena Football League's first couple weeks have not been smooth, right down to safety issues that are kind of at the American Arena League 2 level. But there are some very good videos out there. I'm going to link a couple here. One of them where one of the owners of the Oregon Black Bears is calling directly for Commissioner Hutton to step down from the Arena Football League. And then another one where a coach from the Voodoo is interviewed, very actually good interview, depicting how the command and control of the whole thing really fell apart. And I'm going to go into in some later videos some individual units, like for example how the Soul was essentially replaced head coach and team by the Dallas Falcons. But there's some good news there, hopefully for franchises that legitimately want to do good things. Not the least of which is that the Falcons have already engaged with the Arena League for for at least one preseason game with the Harbor Monsters. So I think that it is a good thing that things like that are happening. For example, since the Soul apparently is now completely defunct, the Cats game this weekend, I would love to see them make that phone call to the Wheeling Miners and get them out there, even if it means going to another facility, the Wheeling Miners facility, and playing that game. That would be interesting to me as a fan, and I think that would help with some of the draw problems. It is a strange thing to me that the Soul in particular has was so poorly, I don't know, kept so poorly managed. One of the things that the this lawyer who's an owner of the Black Bears was talking about is that the commissioner Hutton should have been out there inspecting, because that game with the Voodoo Magic in Lafayette, that was dangerous. And it's weird because American Arena League 2 could be Team 9 for a lot of leagues, and they could field them out, and they could find a way to make that work and still develop themselves, because in the AA2 there's definitely teams that have the work ethic in mind, and they're spending the money, and they're making the right moves, but the level of competition isn't great. That's why anybody remembers, or I guess it's still out there, the Harlem Globetrotters always had the Washington Generals, and I think actually in the beginning there was legitimate competition. I remember I read a book a long time ago about the Globetrotters, and they would take out anybody. That was a legitimate basketball team. I don't think they've done that in a very long time. But anyway, there's also all of the craziness that's going on with the always crazy National Arena League. So the Flying Aces, I think it is, in Oklahoma, they are now completely defunct. They had problems in their previous incarnation. They've had financial problems with this incarnation. Somebody wants to put an arena football product out on the field. It's just not working out for them. And then you've got these long-standing teams that seem to be well managed, like the Beef, that they were once a part of the Indoor Football League. Seems like they should do that again. And again, back to the Arena Football League, there are teams like the Cats, like Albany, that are doing all the right things. And I don't understand why some franchises in one of these leagues so outperform other franchises. The UFL has the Battlehawks and the Stallions, which represent one from each of their two previous leagues. But when you've got Memphis drawing something like 5,000 for a game, that does not bode well for the whole league. And that's why me as a fan, I'm looking for high quality, low cost sports entertainment. Part of that is consistency, but that's only for the team, frankly. If the league goes south and the team can survive, that makes sense to me. And that brings up another thing with the Arena Football League, the Desert Hawks, which last year were with the National Arena League, and they were the War Hawks, I think they were called. Well, apparently they've been successful in suing the Arena Football League and preventing them from playing. Because remember, the head coach of the Warhawks was the commissioner of the National Arena League, and who knows what's going on there. That's why all of these no competition clauses and the legalese of it. And it does seem strange to me.
Come on, Pug. Touch me and I'll sue.
Sue me for what?
Lee Hutton is an attorney. It is odd, obviously, that his wife owns the myth. That's probably just a mechanism. So there's no appearance or reality of conflict of interest, when of course it looks like and probably is a conflict of interest. Same thing is going on in the IFL, with the ownership of the Rattlers, the head coach of the Rattlers also owning the Sugar Skulls. Anyway, from my perspective, this could be a real opportunity for some of those teams that are in a lower league, and they could salvage this season. So the Oregon Black Bears owner was talking about how Lee Hutton should step down immediately. I don't know this, but I have to imagine Hutton is a partial owner of the league. So even if, as he suggested, Jeff Fisher, current head coach of the Cats, went in and took over, where do you go from there? It just seems odd to me that, with all of the football minds and the business minds and the legal minds that are involved with this, that some of this stuff comes down to just poor preparation. How did you not know that these teams, they were announced a year ago or almost a year ago? How did you not know that these teams were this ill prepared? How did you not know that the money wasn't where it should be? That said, it looks like the Arena League has already declared an expansion team for next year in Arkansas. One of the things I like most about these smaller leagues is that they can serve underserved markets. If you are, a sports fan or just a casual fan in some place like Arkansas, what have you got? You've got your NCAA team probably, and that's great. But what have you got in that price range between, say, $15 and $40, where you can go out on a Friday night, have a beer, and watch a game? And again, I like what's going on in Wheeling, and I keep talking about them, is because they're trying to capture the imagination of the people in Wheeling. That beer is a good idea. The one in Iowa, which I can't remember the name of it, but the Iowa Rampage of the AFL basically put an end to a team in that same city from the AIF. They had announced that they were going to produce a beer. So I have to imagine the ownership group there is looking for a way to at least salvage something of a season this year and or come back the next year. But when it comes to my hometown, or not hometown, but where I live, Atlanta, the Georgia Force, they were an afterthought. They are, currently a road team. They have played both games this season, so that's a plus. But, there's been zero marketing. There's nothing going on where, there's watch parties or anything. I mean, it is absolute crickets here in Atlanta, based on that. So they're not spending their money on marketing. Maybe that's one of the lessons that needs to be learned from all this. I also wanted to make sure I thank everybody, because I've noticed that since we've been doing the stuff in the community section, a lot of people have come in. That's much appreciated. And every subscription helps, and every like helps. Every click is appreciated. We've just introduced a couple of new products that are now at Amazon too, and I really appreciate that. And let me know what you think in the comments. Have a great day, and thanks again.